I'm James Turner, and thank you for watching my video. Today I'm going to unbox this PC, but it's not about unboxing. This video is about choosing the right computer for you at the right price. So we don't all need, and every situation doesn't require, the baddest, best, fastest possible computer. Oftentimes you can meet your needs on a budget, and that's what this is about. So I have a need for a video editing computer. I want something with a lot of cores and something with a lot of memory. So I found this on eBay. It's a Lenovo ThinkStation S30. It has a 1650 processor version 2, and it should be plenty fast for what I'm going to do. I was also able to find this memory on eBay. Hopefully it all works. This will give me 64 gigabytes of memory in this computer. For my purposes, this system, if everything works properly, will be more than enough. So that's what this is about. The computer, I made an offer for it, got a little bit lower price, less than $200 on the computer. I've got about $55 in the memory, so we're looking at about $255 there. The graphics card is still up in the air, so I'm not sure what graphics card's in here, if any. It's probably not a very good one. Today I'm just going to throw in a GTX 560. I already have a 960 and a 1060. So I'm going to probably end up putting a 1060 in there. Not your newest, best graphics card, but for my needs, should be good. I actually sourced it about a year ago, and when you could still get a decent price on it. So all in all, I'm looking at having less than $400 in a 6-core system with 64 gigabytes of memory and a halfway decent graphics card. So let's see what we got. See if this PC made it here safely. I'll show you what it looks like. And then I'll put the memory in. Possibly the graphics card. Whoa, look at that. Peanuts. I didn't know we were going to make a mess. Everybody packs these things differently, but it looks like they actually did a really good job. They put peanuts in here, and they packed it with some styrofoam, and it's bubble wrapped. So not the best I've seen, but right up there. A very good job. And that's something that's important. I'm actually considering buying from this seller again, but I wanted to get this one, see what it looked like. They have one more, so I may pick that one up. Not that I actually need it, but I'm a little... I like computers, and I may get it just as a backup, or maybe so I can retire one of my older S20s. I have a 3 S20s that have all been upgraded, and they have halfway decent processors. They have 6-core Xeons, and they're actually pretty good computers. I don't play games, so none of my computers need to be gaming PCs, but those actually have fairly fast cores on those Xeons, and I've heard people say that you can game on them, but if you're gaming, you're probably still better off with like an i7 or something like that. Even an older i7 will probably have faster single core performance, so it'll be better for you. So as you can see, they bubble wrapped it nicely. I may actually edit this video at a later date, or before I even publish it, and add the name of the seller and possibly even the link. Maybe help them out. Always like it when I find a good seller on eBay. There are a few of them. I know sometimes they get a bad rap, but there are, I'm sure a lot of you know, quite a few very good sellers on eBay. Well, here we go. As you can see, the ThinkStations are pretty big. They're well-made computers. Some of the things I like about the S20s and S30s is the handle here and the little lip here. It's very easy to carry it around, move it around, and it's also very easy to work on. So I've got another camera going over here. As you can see, you can watch me what I'm doing here. So I'm just gonna, well, I'll just show you this way so you can see it. It's very easy to open, so you have very easy access, and that's important. I like to work on computers. I do a lot of upgrades. I do a lot of cleaning. Don't know why my house is a little bit dusty. I get that from my wife too all the time. Don't know why. We run a really good filtration system. Still get the dust. So let's layer it down. Let's see if we can see over here. Yes, we can. That's not too bad. So, as you can see, I remember now, it's true. There's a Quadro K2000D in here. And that's not a great graphics card, but it's the kind you would have seen in an older workstation. I'm just going to leave that in there for now. It should work just fine for testing purposes and everything. And then later, I may almost certainly add the 1060 in it. I mean, I could add even larger and more powerful graphics cards. These systems come with 2 6-pins, so there would be no sense in adding one of the newest graphics cards that require more than that, because you're probably going to end up CPU bound, and this is not a gaming system anyway. So that's plenty of power. One of the other things I like about these systems, you'll notice here that you have an 80 plus gold PSU. So the power system is top notch. It's a really good power system. I believe it's 610. So 610, maybe it's 625 on the Lenovo S20s, but 610, that's enough power for almost any situation. So here we go. This system actually comes with a 512 gigabyte SSD, which is excellent. So We do have a graphics card. We have a very good older Xeon CPU, and we have that nice SSD. So the only thing this system really needs is some memory and hard drives. So I have purchased 3 4-gigabyte hard drives. So I'll be moving the SSD and possibly even stacking it. So we'll put in the SSD and maybe even move it here in one of the other drive bays, or just stack it right here. I've affixed them directly to these before. Shouldn't be a problem. It's always worked for me. So we'll end up with 12 terabytes in here and a 512 SSD. So why the 4 gig hard drives? I move everything to a server anyway. So I have a server that has a lot more capacity in it, and all of the computers I have here, they are all attached to they are all mapped to the server. So I have easy access. Everything moves pretty fast directly to the server. So I could even I can edit and save it directly to the server. I've worked on files directly on the server, though that's probably not the best way. I prefer to edit them and everything on the system and then just move them to the server, because I can just go have some tea, walk the dog, whatever, get back to it. So there you go. Let's get a close-up look. I'll show you how that looks. So there you go. That's what it looks like in the case. Really nice computers, as I said. Why Lenovo? Maybe I should have addressed that from the beginning. So I am admittedly a bit of a Lenovo fanboy, and I'll tell you why. So my first computer I purchased in 1998, and it was an IBM Aptiva. Many of you may be aware that IBM sold the rights to their PC business to Lenovo. Well, that IBM Aptiva, I have a video coming, so follow me, subscribe to the channel, and you can check out that video when I release it. I have had that IBM Aptiva in storage, like 22 years. So it's been 22 years in storage. And after 22 years, I pulled it out of its box and hooked everything up. I had to use a newer, but not too new, LCD monitor, and that thing booted up. Now, admittedly, it's slow as it can be. It's a 24-year-old computer. Of course, it's slow, but it booted up. It runs. It has no problem. I can show you something else. I know I'm not very well prepared here, but let's see. I keep most all of my old computers that I care anything about. So here we go. Yeah, I'm not the best at making videos, but this is an old Lenovo that I purchased while I was living in China. This Lenovo was purchased in 2006, I believe. 2006 or 2007, something like that. So when I purchased it, it had an old Celeron in it. It ran good for the time. It served me very well, but I ended up, after a couple years, like I usually do, moving on to a newer, better, faster computer. But about a year ago, I was installing, and I was upgrading a lot of my old computers. Not that I needed them, just for fun. Some computers I found at thrift stores for like really reasonable price, just very cheap. I know I don't need them, but I like working on them. I like upgrading them. I like seeing what they can do. So while I was doing that, I took out the old Celeron. I looked on, I believe it's cpulist.com, something like that, and they'll tell you what's the fastest CPUs for the motherboards that you have. So you can look up your CPU your motherboard and a CPU list, and it'll show you. So I ended up putting a Q6600 in this computer, and what do you know, it really runs faster. I also put an SSD in it, and then I upgraded it from Windows XP to Windows 10, and it runs it. Again, it's not a fast computer. It's a old computer. It's not going to run the latest, greatest anything. But I was able to go on YouTube, watch videos. I was able to run LibreOffice. It's usable. You could use it. Slow. If you have a better computer, you'd never use it because you already know the difference and it feels sluggish. But if you didn't know the difference, if you didn't have a better system, you'd be surprised. This old thing runs flawlessly. So the meaning is, this old Lenovo, I have never had any problems with it in all of those years. Never once, nothing. It ran flawlessly. And that's why I'm a bit of a fanboy. I like Lenovo's, and almost every computer I have bought since is a Lenovo. They're better cable managed. They're quality parts. It's just a better computer. I've never been disappointed with any of the Lenovo's that I've ever purchased, and hopefully this won't be one either. So all we're going to do right now is just replace the memory, and then I'll make a addition to this video later, and we'll see how it works. Well, we'll see you again in a bit. I'm going to replace this memory. I'm going to check everything out, boot it all up, run it through the paces, see what we got, and then I'll talk to you again in a few minutes. Okay, so everything worked out good. I powered it on. I did switch out the memory. When I put in the 64 gigabytes of server memory, the system booted up, but it had some issues, and I ended up having to shut it down. I put the old memory back in, rebooted it, restarted it, shut it off, put the server memory back in it again, and this time I didn't have those issues. I was able to start the system. I feel like the older version of Windows 10 that's installed appears to have some issue. I'll get to that after I do all the other work. I'm probably just going to do a fresh reinstall instead of trying to update it, which may or may not correct the issue. Usually your best option is just do a fresh reinstall with a newer version to minimize the number of updates, because it's a pretty old version that was installed. So here's what it looks like. So you can see here, whereas there were 3-4 gigabyte sticks of memory in here, you see there are 8 slots. So now, instead of 3-4 gigabyte sticks, so we had 12 gigabytes. Now we have 8 gigabyte sticks, and the system is showing all 64 gigabytes, so we're really good. I'm very happy with all of that. The video card drivers were updated. Of course, we'll have to do that all again, but everything worked. Now, there are a couple other things I like to do with the new system. One, as I mentioned, I did pick up some 4 gig hard drives, so we're going to put 3 of those in. Now, these systems are set up so that you can easily put in 3 hard drives in the trays here. So they have these trays. We can put in 3 hard drives easily. Now there's also one more 3.5-inch bay right here, and that one you can slide something in. You can probably just slide it in from the front here, so it's not hard to do. You can stick one more hard drive in there. And so these systems, just like the S20, the S30 has SATA power connectors for up to 5 devices. Now, I've put in more than that and just run a splitter so that you can do that too. But on this one, I'm going to use these 3 here, and then there's a 4th one that's running on the DVD, and then I'm just going to put an extender on and put the SSD here. So the hard drives 1, 2, 3, and then the SSD here. So that's what we're going to do there. So we'll get all those hard drives in. So we'll have Windows running on the 512 gigabyte SSD, and then we'll have 3 4 gigabyte or 4 terabyte hard drives in there. Give us a total of 12 terabytes. Plenty for what we're going to do with it. All right, so 2 more things I like to do. One, I'm going to take out the graphics card, and I'm going to replace the thermal paste on the graphics card. Second, I'm going to pull off the CPU cooler, and we're going to replace the thermal paste there too. If it was a fairly new system, I would definitely not worry about that. But on an older system like that, that's something that I feel is very important. You don't know how hard it's been run, whether it was run continuously, whether it's the thermal paste has dried out. Doesn't mean it won't run, but it'll definitely throttle, because as the CPU gets hot, it's just not going to allow it to run to its full potential. Okay, so there's a couple more things I like to do. One more thing I like to do is I like to put a fan here. Now, they don't come with those fans. You don't really always need it, and again, it's going to depend on, you know, how hard you're using the system. Now, what I want to use this for is for video editing, and so that may put a little more stress on the system, and it may want to overheat a little bit. So just to make sure, I'm going to put a fan there. It has 1 fan here on the back, and then of course the PSU power supply, you know, has a nice big fan there that helps a little bit, but you know, that's not really that good. I have systems that have many more fans than that. Sometimes they're a little bit loud, not too bad. I usually like to, you know, control the fans, keep the speeds down, have more fans, less speed. That way it keeps it quiet. So that's what we're going to do next. We're going to put thermal paste on the CPU cooler and the graphics card, and then we're going to pump in those hard drives. You can find so many videos online for that, so I'm not going to show that part to you, but I would definitely refer to someone. If you don't know how to do that yourself, then just check out one of the videos online. They have many good videos. I may do a video in the future when I take apart a computer specifically to upgrade the CPU, and then maybe I'll come back and put in a link to that. But that'll be it for today. I appreciate you watching. This looks like it's going to be a really good computer. I may do one more segment at a future date to show how it's performing with the video editing that I'm tasking it with. But very happy. Everything worked out. I'm probably going to go back. I'm going to get one more of these S30s. Got a really good deal on it, so really happy about that. It's very clean and runs great. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more videos all over the place with the topics, but tech and tech related. So have a great day.